I joined Nourish because I went on an international project to Cameroon and I loved it. And I loved the people I went with, and they really seemed to have the same values as I did. And they couldn't stop talking about how excited they were for other projects to come and how awesome their student group was. And they really recruited me, and so I, of course, had to join. And I knew that I wanted to go on more international projects, and so I fell in love with Nourish.
So I joined Nourish because I signed up for a lot of clubs at the involvement fair, and I went to like 10 different student meetings at the beginning of the year. And Nourish was the only one that I felt like people were the most friendly at and the most welcoming. So I came back and I fell in love with it, and that's why I'm in Nourish.
I first heard about Nourish at an event here at Ohio State called the Involvement Fair, and they told us about a party that they were having, a social, so I went, and it was a lot of fun with a lot of really cool people, like our current president, Maxie, and a few of my roommates joined, and we've been in it to this day.
I came to the first meeting to get away from my roommate, and then while I was at the meeting, they invited me to the social, and I went to the social and met people like Jorge.
And I went to the first social and met people like Anna, and I just really feel like we found our niche as freshmen.
So I was volunteering with another organization, and there was this girl who I had never met, and she was standing next to me, and we were doing our work, and she wouldn't stop talking about Nourish. She just kept going on, and I had never heard of Nourish International before. I was like, what the heck? But, it sounded so cool, so I went home that night, and I looked it up, and I was at the next meeting that week. I went to my first meeting with Nourish, and well, this is cool. I think I'll come back. And so I came to my second Nourish meeting, and every person in that room remembered my name and said hi to me. And that was it for me. I was like, I'm going to keep coming back. These people are awesome. Now, 2.5 years later, these people are my best friends, and it's pretty awesome.
I kept coming back to Nourish International because they really made me feel welcome there. They really appreciated any time I volunteered for any venture, and it was just a friendly environment I didn't find in any other student org.
How do I spread the message of Nourish International? Well, it's pretty much all I talk about. Every other sentence that comes out of my mouth is Nourish related. So, if you're around me, you pretty much have to know what Nourish is.
I spread the message of Nourish International to fellow students by just talking about Nourish in class and other events I go to. My major is EADS, which is Environment, Economics, Development, and Sustainability. So we do talk a lot about poverty and ways to fix poverty in sustainable ways. So I just bring up Nourish anytime I can, and it really is a good outlet.
I think it's really hard to condense what Nourish is into a couple of sentences. So what I usually do is tell students about my personal experiences and how this student organization has helped me through college.
The best way to recruit new members is to invite them to socials, because then Nourish International becomes more than just a one-time meeting every Sunday and just this group of kids that you sit with 1 hour every Sunday. It becomes more of an organization and more of a group where teamwork is needed.
I think our chapter has been so successful in recruiting new members because once you join, you can tell that everyone is passionate about what they're doing and everyone truly cares about each other in this group.
What separates Nourish from other organizations is that we are a smaller organization compared to some of the bigger ones like UNICEF here on campus, but because we're smaller, it gives everyone in Nourish an opportunity to take on responsibilities and play a huge role in the organization.
I think Nourish International is vastly different than other service organizations on campus because we don't just send volunteers into different countries to teach them how to be successful. We actually go to work with locals to see what method works best for them. We send volunteers not to teach, but to learn.
We are in college. We're busy. We have jobs, we have internships, we have class and homework, we have our friends, and we're in other student organizations, and we're doing a million things every single day. So, to come to all the Nourish events and meetings, you have to make Nourish really a priority in your life. And how do you get people to keep coming? And that's that's really hard. I think the first thing you have to do is pick a time that's really easy for people to come to. So maybe send out a doodle poll or something and let people tell you when they're available. And then you can set your meeting times for when people can actually be there instead of on Tuesday nights when every other student organization on your campus is having their meetings. Um, yeah, and other than that, make the meetings fun. Nurse shouldn't be a chore. People will come to meetings if they know they're gonna have fun when they're there. They know they're gonna see their friends. They know, they're gonna do work, but it's not gonna be anything that they don't want to do. I think that's really important.
The most common reason Nourish events are harder to attend is usually because of the times that they fall. We as an organization have tested the waters on which times work best for which different ventures and events, but it's still a learning process, and some of the times are not good for anyone with their class schedule or work schedule.